everybody for being here. We haven't really gotten to all come together and do a big group programming piece like this so far this summer. It kind of feels like a Friday beach day if you're someone that's been at camp before, only virtually. But today we are actually running a workshop, and this workshop is in partnership with the town of Ajax for a grant for Girls Inc., which is really awesome because grants are what allow us to do programming and to be able to have even virtual programming, in-person programming, and to have all the supplies and tools we need to see all of your wonderful faces as much as we can. And this workshop in particular is about equity and inclusion, and it's mainly around talking about women and the rights that we have when it comes to getting paid for the jobs that we do. And the activity that we're doing today is called Equal Pay for Equal Work. And if you've come to Girls Inc. Summer Camp before, whether you're a staff or a girl, you've probably done this with us. But it's a really, really awesome way to really recognize, you know, how it might feel to get paid less than somebody else or to get paid more than somebody else. And a lot of the times when that stuff happens, it's that women tend to be getting paid less than their male counterpart. And that's kind of what we're going to be talking about today. And we got so excited when we saw all the girls that registered because you're all so brilliant, especially within this topic. And we're super excited to hear all that you have to say around this. So that's kind of the topic of today, of our discussion. And I know that some of us were expecting it to be media literacy this afternoon, and this is your time slot for that. So thank you for coming on and kind of letting us switch it around. This was kind of just the perfect time slot that we were able to get everybody together and kind of have almost like a conference, it feels, with everyone here on Zoom. Does that sound good so far? Okay, cool, awesome. Another thing that we're going to be doing at the end today is we're going to be doing a draw. We're going to put all of the girls' names in a bucket or a bowl of some sort. Bree is writing all those names down now. And we're going to do a draw at the end for you to win a goodie bag filled with Girls Inc. swag. So stay tuned for that at the end. If you're somebody that leaves early, do not worry. Your name is still going to go in the bucket. And if you're not here when we draw it, we will just send your parent or guardian an email letting them know that you have won some swag. So that's kind of like the incentive that we have going on for the end of this today. Still sounding good to everyone? Perfect. Awesome. Another thing that I just want to kind of like some housekeeping stuff is if we can do our best to have our camera on today, especially, I would really, really appreciate it. And the reason why I say that is because you are working in teams. And I know it's going to be a lot easier for other team members to get to know who's on their team and just be able to put a face to the voice, essentially. So if you are comfortable, especially today with having your video on, we would really appreciate it. That way your team members can see you and you can see them. And I think it just adds for greater connection. So if you don't mind doing that, that would be fantastic. Yeah, pretty much same rules as an agreement apply for today. If you would like to use the chat box and type in there and that is easier for you, by all means, go ahead. If you want to raise your hand in chat, that works as well. There is a lot of us today and there's 2 pages of people. So the one voice agreement is definitely going to be needed for today. And that just means making sure that one of us is talking at a time. And if we can raise our hand, that would be awesome. And then that way we just make sure that everyone's voice is being heard. Does that work for everyone? Okay, awesome. Before we even get into the activity, I used 2 words earlier when I was talking about what today was going to be about. And that was equity and inclusion. Does anybody have an idea at what the word equity means? Yeah, Cree?
Equity is kind of like everyone in a certain setting would get what they need in order to do the best job that they possibly could. It's different than equality, which is where everyone gets the same thing, but equity is just where everyone gets the resources that they need to do a good job.
Exactly. Brilliant answer, Cree. Thank you so much. Yes, snaps to you. You said exactly what we would have said. And thank you for letting us know the difference between equity and equality, because I know when we hear those words, for the longest time, I even kind of meshed them together because I was just unsure and they sound really similar. So thank you for doing that as well. But yes, equity is basically when everybody is given the tools that they need in order to succeed. And the really, really important piece about equity is that the tools that I might need to succeed might be very, very different than what Vanessa needs to succeed, or than what Brianna needs to succeed. And that's the awesome part of equity, is that we're actually giving people tools that are going to be helpful for them. Because sometimes giving everybody the same thing is not helpful at all, because that's not going to apply for them, or that's not going to be something that's going to allow them to get their job done, or get whatever it is that they're doing and feel accomplished. And I know sometimes an example of equity and living in an equitable society, you'll hear people say that too sometimes, is people lined up ready to run a race. And one person's wearing running shoes, another person's wearing running shoes, and another person has no shoes at all. And pretty more likely then is the person that has the running shoes on is probably going to do better in the race. So we have to give that other person that doesn't have shoes something else that's going to allow them to also be successful and proceed as well. So thank you so much, Cree, for that example. You were right on the money, which is perfect because we're talking about money today. So thank you for that. And another word that I talked about was inclusion. Has anybody heard the word inclusion before, or does anybody know what that means?
Ella.
All right, so inclusion is kind of getting everyone together, like say you're in a group or something, and having everyone kind of have like an equal share, or everyone has a part to play. So for example, like since we're talking about business and like women and everything, to include women in say high positions of power, you want to include women, so that's inclusion. Instead of just having men dominate, CEO roles or stuff like that, include women as well. So inclusion is having everyone together, not just a specific subset of people or whatever. It can be for anything, but since we're talking about business, I thought we'd just go with a business example.
Yes, definitely. Thank you, Ella. Another brilliant answer. Snaps to you, my friend. Definitely being inclusive is really what it means. And I know that at Girls Inc., that is something that we want to be all the time. We always want to be inclusive, whether it's we're at school, maybe we're at camp, we're at an after school program, we're just hanging out and chatting. We always want to be inclusive of the other people that are in the room, or the other people that don't know about the room yet, but maybe want to be a part of it. And I love how you mentioned it in like the business world, because that is what we're talking about today. And we do need to be inclusive of women when it comes to holding those higher roles, like a CEO, or owning your that you're wanting to be a part of, that we have to be inclusive of everybody when it comes to that. And I think a lot of us have probably noticed in society that doesn't always happen. That women aren't always given that inclusive space or that equitable chance. So that's really what we're going to dive into today. And if you've done this activity before, that's amazing. You're just going to get to be a leader and an expert in the conversation that we're going to be having. Do those two words make sense to everybody as of right now? When you hear the word equity or equitable, and when you hear the word inclusion or inclusive? Fantastic. Awesome. I had a pretty good feeling that you all knew what we were talking about, but I wanted to make sure that we all felt that we were on the same page when it comes to doing this activity. So again, it's called Equal Pay for Equal Work. And we're going to actually have you do some tasks today within your team. And I know that can be a bit tricky because we're not all here together, but that is why you have been labeled in a group. So you're either a part of the strong group, the smart group, or the bold group. All fantastic groups to be a part of. So if you look around, you can probably see people that have a similar tag as you. But maybe to make it a bit easier, if you see smart next to your name, can you raise your hand and keep it raised? So if your hand is raised, maybe flip through to the next page on Zoom and see who else is on your team. Maybe give a little wave, a little hello, how you doing? Perfect, awesome, amazing. Thank you, smart team. If you are a part of the strong team, raise your hand. Maybe flip through, see who else is on your team, give a little wave, a hello. If you want to write it in the chat, I know some people have been, that's awesome, thank you. And if you're a part of our bold team, raise your hand. Flip through, maybe give a little wave. I see Elise, she's definitely on the bold team, love it. Awesome, amazing. So for the most part, we've got a good sense of one or two people that are on our team. If you forget who's on your team, not a big deal. Feel free to just flick through and look around and see, or ask us and we can do our best to let you know who else is. And if you forget what team you're on, if you just wiggle your mouse, it'll tell you who you're a part of, because I know I'm the person that would forget. So I just want to make sure that we all have a good sense of which team we are a part of for today. So those are your teams: strong, smart, and bold. It's like we've split you up, but you might not be able to see everyone on your screen, so we'll just do our best. But we're going to actually have you do 5 activities today. And when I say activity, it's going to be a minute of something. So there's going to be 5 minutes in total of what we're going to be asking you to do. And we're all going to do this stuff at the exact same time. So everyone's doing the same thing at the same time, and I think with the same amount of people in their group for the most part. So everyone's got the same stuff. And after each minute, we're going to give you some money, and each group is going to get paid at the end of each task that you complete. And none of the groups are going to know what they're getting paid until the end, until we show you, okay? So you're just going to do your tasks. Do them to the best of your ability. Do them with like positivity, some enthusiasm, like you really, really want to do whatever the task is that we're asking you to do. And we'll kind of chat after each one. You will get paid, and then we will move on to our next task. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay, perfect. Awesome. So I will let you know what the tasks are that we're going to be doing ahead of time, just so that you have the space to do them and you feel good about them. So I'm going to read over those now. If for some reason there is something that you can't do, that's okay. Just let us know. If it's that you don't have the space or you don't feel comfortable doing it, just let us know in the chat box. But I think we've picked things that hopefully everybody will be able to participate in. So the 5 things that we're going to be doing today are a minute of jumping jacks, a minute of high knees, and I'll show you all of them before we start. We're going to do where you pat your head and you rub your stomach. We're going to do that for a minute. We're going to do power poses for a minute, and then at the end we're going to have a minute-long dance party. But these tasks, we're going to stop in between each one. So if you're thinking, oh my goodness, this is a lot of exercise, feel free. We will stop between, have some water, maybe do a little stretch, and then we're going to move on to the next one. For the most part, do these tasks sound doable for everybody? If you just want to maybe raise your hands or thumbs up or something, or a nice big smile, so I know we are all feeling good about it. Perfect. Awesome. So I will show you what they are, just so that we all have a good feeling of what we're doing. Hopefully I have enough room where everyone can see what I'm doing. Maybe I won't be able to. But the first one I said, hey again, is jumping jacks. Pretty sure everyone's done them before. You can just do it wherever you are, and we're going to do them for a minute, okay? That is the first thing that we are doing. And I think I'm going to get Bree or Vanessa to time us, so that we know we're doing it for exactly a minute. I'm not a part of a team, but I'm going to do it all with you anyway. So if you forget what we're doing, feel free to just look at me and follow along. Does that sound good to everybody? Okay, cool. Awesome. So everybody stand up on your feet, and we're going to do a minute-long jumping jack. I'm frozen. I think my screen is frozen. Now I'm over here. Okay, so we're going to do a minute long. So if everyone wants to stand up, I think Vanessa's timing us. She's going to count us down from 3, and then on 1, we are all going to start. Okay, so make sure you have a good amount of space.
All right, 3, 2, 1. Keep going, keep going. 5 seconds. 15, keep going. You got it. Yes, keep going. Halfway through, go, go, go. Feel strong, jumping jack, come on, let's go. All right, keep going. Still keep going, you're not done yet. Keep going, 20 seconds, 20 seconds. Woo, there we go, fast movement. 15 seconds, 15. Keep going, all right, 10 seconds left. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Then you've completed task 1. Yay!
Yay! Make sure you do a little dance party after that one. Give yourself a pat on the back. Nice little cheer, some positive talk. If you're out of breath like I am, that's totally okay. If you need some water, also okay. How did it feel to do a minute of jumping jacks? Good? Meh? Didn't like it at all? That's fair. Haven't done that in a while. Amazing. Okay, so the next task that we're going to be doing is also going to be for a minute long, and we're going to do high knees. And I'm going to show you what that looks like right now. And again, kind of tiring like jumping jacks, but it's all gonna pay off in the end. So basically, if you've done high knees before, you probably know what I'm referring to. If you haven't, that's okay as well. And if you do them differently than how I do them, that's okay. So if you want to modify it or do it in a way that works best for you and your body, just listen to what you need, and that would be awesome, okay? But I do them like this, and I make sure my knees hit my hands. And we're gonna do that for a minute. Does that sound good? Okay, so again, catch your breath.
You got it, Abby. Don't worry.
If you need to get a drink or some water, make sure you're doing that, especially if you're outside. It's quite warm. And Vanessa's going to count us down from 3. So we're going to get on our feet, and we're going to do high knees. Okay.
Great. Everyone looks ready. 3, 2, 1, go. There we go. There we go. Go, Leah. Yes, I like it. I like it. All right, Olivia's killing it over there. Yes, Bella. Megan's killing it. TJ, higher. Come on. Go higher, TJ. You've got this. You've got this. All right, Helen. Look at you killing the game. Woo-woo. Woo-woo. All right, there we go. Maya, you're doing great. You're doing awesome. All right, and you've got 30 seconds left. 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Come on. Come on. Make them count. Make them count. Come on, Naomi. Let's see them go higher. Come on, girls. You got this. I'm so proud of all of you. Anaya, let's go. Let's go. Woo-woo. All right, 15 seconds. 15 seconds. You're almost at the end game. Come on, Maya. I know you can do it. I know you can do it. Yes, Abby, you're going. Going. You got it. You got it. You got it. 5 seconds left. 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah. That was good.
Great job. My goodness. Is anybody else out of breath? Raise your hand if you are. Okay, awesome. Makes me feel a lot better. Whew. That was amazing. Great job. The next thing we're going to be doing is we're going to do where we pat our head and we rub our stomach at the same time. Excuse me. One that I find very challenging. So if this is difficult for you, that's okay. Just embrace it. Nobody's watching. Everyone's just focusing on themselves and watching your video. So not to worry. Vanessa's going to count us down from 3 again.
All right. 3. Get your hand on your head. Get your hand on your tummy. 2. And 1. Oh, look at this. Got a lot of professionals. I'm liking it. You can go slow too. You don't have to go fast. Don't worry. You got a minute.
If you need to switch hands too.
Oh, yeah. Your hand gets tired. 40 seconds. Keep going. All right. Yeah, Creed. 40 seconds. You got it. Don't worry. Don't worry. You're still going. Good job, Nikki. 30 seconds. Good job, Maria. Look at where you go. She's been doing that before we even started, so that's even better. All right, Peyton, you're tapping. I can see it. Oh, my goodness. 15 seconds. It's starting to be a little. Okay, my arms are getting tired. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. We're almost there. 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. We're good.
Woo! Good job. Again, give yourself a pat on the back. Nice clap, some snaps, whatever you need to move on to the next one. This is awesome. Great job. The next one that we're going to do, which is our second last one, is power poses. Does everyone know what I mean when I say a power pose? Okay, so there's multiple power poses that people know. Some of them even have names. So it's up to you which power pose you choose to do. And the purpose of a power pose and while we're doing it is to hopefully kind of be in tune with ourselves. And at the end of it, hopefully feel a little bit more fierce than we did before we went into that power pose. And again, we're gonna hold this for a minute. So there's lots of options. Some people will do this one. Some people will do this one. Am I missing any? Oh, this one. Yeah, this one, maybe whatever you want, whatever feels powerful to you. Everyone can have a totally different power pose. And you're just gonna pick the one that makes you feel the most strong, fierce, like a leader. There's one called the CEO pose. So whatever one works best for you, start thinking of that now. And we're gonna do that in a couple seconds. I think it feels better when you stand and do it. You kind of just feel more like grounded and planted in your feet. So if you have the space again to stand up and hold this pose for a minute, that would be awesome. If you get tired in that pose and you want to switch to another power pose halfway through, that's okay as well. Does everyone feel like they have one? Fantastic. Okay, Vanessa's going to count us down again from 3, and we are all going to do a power pose together.
All right, so 3, 2, 1. It's okay. It's okay. This is okay. All right. Don't worry. You don't have to stay like a statue. You can still talk to yourself if you would like, or move around, whatever makes you feel better. So this one's not that wild. Don't worry. 40 seconds. Addie, your arm might get tired, but that's okay.
I know sometimes it feels nice to close your eyes too when you do it and to just really think about all the things that make you powerful or fierce or a good friend or a leader and really just kind of say those things to yourself as you hold on to that pose. If you feel comfortable doing that, it's up to you.
10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1.
Amazing. Awesome. Thank you so much for doing all of those tasks and essentially completing your job for the day. That was amazing. So yeah, another hand for everybody. I know some of those were a little bit more exhausting, and sometimes when we think of 1 minute, a minute a lot of the time seems like it's such a short amount of time until you're doing jumping jacks or high knees. And then I know that minute for me felt like 10 minutes. So thank you for sticking with it and for listening to your body and doing what worked best for you. You all did get paid after all those things, so woohoo! Paid you all. So how did it feel to do some of those tasks, to do the jumping jacks, to do the high knees? How was it? Cree?
Staying focused to do the patting the head and rubbing the stomach at the same time was a lot, and people were staring at me from the window because they thought that I was crazy. And holding the power pose, that was fun. So it's a mix of like staying concentrated and also having a good time.
Definitely, yeah. Maybe it took a lot of our, brain power to really stay focused in holding that pose, or especially with the pat on the head and the rubbing of the stomach, that can be a tricky one to kind of stay in tune with. So totally. Thank you, Cree. Ella?
I had a lot of fun doing them, even like, the more physically active ones, like jumping jacks and high knees. It was kind of fun. And, like here I am sitting in, my way oversized t-shirt and like jean shorts, and I'm sweating it out. I'm like, yes, I'm doing exercise.
Yes.
It was a lot of fun. It was a little tiring, because of COVID, I haven't done a lot of exercise or whatever. So it was a little tiring, but it was still a lot of fun at the same time. And it was fun to see everybody else, like at least who's on my screen, doing it as well.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely think that, I know for me, was the motivating piece, was seeing everybody else doing it with me as well, and not feeling like, oh my gosh, I'm the only one that's kind of up on my feet and doing it. So totally. I know I saw Naomi write in the group that it was a little bit tiring, which I totally agree. Sometimes after you're like, oh my goodness, like Ella said, maybe I haven't done jumping jacks in a while. That's totally fair if we haven't, but then to do them for a whole minute can definitely feel like a really, really long time. So thanks so much for sharing that, girls. I'm glad that you found the fun piece in it and that it was something that we enjoyed doing. So thank you. I'm going to have Vanessa do a little screen share for us now, which I know can get hard because then a lot of us can't see anybody at all. But we will do our best to keep everybody in tune and making sure that we're hearing everyone's voice. All right, no worries, Cree. Thanks so much for coming on, friend. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye. Thanks for your brilliant answers. But yeah, so Vanessa's going to share her screen with us. And we are going to talk about all the money that we made. And we did do a lot of work just then. And I know our bodies are feeling the work that we did. Ella mentioned being sweaty, and I also feel that way. So we definitely know that within that time, we put in effort and we put in that work. So now we are going to see how much money we made, which is super exciting. That's okay. Has anybody ever been paid for a job before? Yeah, amazing. Very cool. Kind of an awesome feeling when you've really worked hard and then you get something in return for that work. I know it definitely is probably something that we all enjoy. So we're gonna see. Yeah. Can everybody see Vanessa's screen? All right, amazing. So as you can see here, we have your team, and your team's name is written on your money. So our strong team is the first one that we're seeing. Our smart team is in the middle, and then our bold team is down at the bottom. And then we have some gray dollar signs. And underneath those dollar signs is the money that we've made. And we want to make sure that we can cheer on our teams and cheer on your own team when you see what you got from doing all of those tasks. So if we want to reveal our strong team's amount, $100. Oh my goodness, give yourselves a hand, strong team. We'll clap for our other strong team, even if you're not on that one. That is amazing. Awesome. All right, we're gonna reveal our smart team's money. Let's see what they made. $50. Yay to our smart team. And now we're going to reveal what our bold team made. Can anyone tell me the amount that we see for our bold team? I see Ella holding up 0. Does everybody else see that our bold team made 0?